If you haven't heard by now, Shatterline, a free-to-play FPS game, is moving from Steam to Epic Games in light of a full release out of early access involving Web3/crypto/NFTs and little flying drones called heavy metals. Now this release comes as a bit of a shock, but as we start to navigate the details of this migration, I wanted to sort of break down everything we know and everything we can expect moving into full release. So one of the first biggest questions that you may have is regarding content. For a long time we have been told, for pretty much a bunch of new features that we have asked for over the years, that we should just wait till full release for them to arrive. So now that we're here, what sort of content/features can we expect upon full release? First off, we can expect to have 3 new missions added to the PvE portion of the game. One of these will be a longer episode style mission called Inside Out, and there will be 2 other Blitz missions added as well. As for PvP content, there are several unreleased PvP maps such as Fortress or Glacier, but the problem is these maps are nowhere near close to finished. They need a lot of texturing, a lot of balance, a lot of performance optimization, several things that need to be done before they're finished, but we could see those later down the line whenever the Frag Lab team is beginning to work on PvP again. So that means the main focus of development will be on expedition/story missions whenever the game first launches on Epic Games. So what exactly can we expect within Expedition? The main new feature we can expect is a new type of perk system, and who better to explain that than Paley himself?
So perks, we're going to try to introduce new perks. There's a class called Contaminated Perks that we're thinking about introducing. This is basically where you get a plus and a minus. So it might be significant damage bonus, but like you get a slowdown when there's enemies within a certain radius. So these are like choices that you make, and then additional parametric perks, which are stuff like plus 10% damage.
Just to clarify, you mean the roguelike perk system or the weapon perk system?
No, the roguelike perk system in Expeditions.
So as you just heard, we're expecting a contaminated perk system, which trades off a benefit with a challenge, and we're also expecting a sort of straight buff perk system where you get a percentage buff of different stats. For example, this could be damage, max HP, movement speed, reload time. Some of these things we already have in Expedition, but they're at fixed values. So for example, health, you can only get either a plus 50 or plus 75 health. Under the new system, you'll be able to get like a plus 8% max health, something like that. So this will help switch up each run a little bit more and get away from every run feeling the exact same with the exact same set of perks. You may also remember the Frag Lab team promising us an achievement system upon full release. So I actually asked Anna about this, and she says the achievement system is in the works, but we're going to need some more time to deliver it, so it won't be available right upon full release. Another thing that most people have requested for full release and has originally been planned for full release is now getting delayed again is console edition. So basically the devs explained we want to polish the game on PC first and then port to console later. The dev team also told us that all story missions will be available at all times under full release, and this is still the plan, but it will take a while before the player base builds up enough to allow for this to happen. But eventually we will have all missions available at all times. As for movement mechanics being reintroduced, we've seen immense desire for long jump, Bhop, and vaulting to be reintroduced into the game, and the Frag Lab team have said Bhop is ugly, but we have later spoken to Faraway and again Frag Lab, and basically they've said we have these mechanics, we're not opposed to bringing them back, but it does require some development needs that we currently don't have on the team. So if we're able to basically hire the people that we need to reintroduce these mechanics, then maybe eventually down the line we will be able to reintroduce Bhop and long jump. One other thing that was discussed was a new type of creator program that incentivizes creators to stream the game, make content for the game. So under this program, there's been numerous Twitch drops that are going to be confirmed to arrive upon full release. We have also had word of more creator tools, maybe a replay system coming much further down the line. There's also talk of constant sponsored Twitch streams from bigger creators to attract new players to the game. And we could also potentially see some XP codes, some special cosmetics, something given out to creators to help incentivize people to watch their content. Another highly requested feature is to have new operatives in the game, since we have not had a single new operative since the start of early access. So currently the Faraway team is looking into adding the Chosen character from Invasion as an operative in both PvP and PvE. This guy is fully modeled and has certain abilities that he can use, but the problem is he doesn't have a PvE perk tree. So if we can figure out a way to either make him a PvP exclusive operative or create a new PvE perk tree, then we could potentially see the Chosen guy as a permanent operative in all game modes. Now let's talk a little bit about player compensation for those heading to Epic Games from Steam when the game launches later this year. So basically at the start of early access, we were told as players that there would be no more progression wipes. As you can see in the screenshot, it says Shatterline is entering early access. All of your playtest progression from this playtest session will be wiped, and then after that, there will be no more wipes during early access. We can also see in the September Q&A where someone directly asked the devs, will progress in early access stay with us when the game launches? To which the devs responded, yes, all of the progression will stay with you. So if we can just keep that in mind with the context of the situation. So as you heard in the Q&A, several people actually asked about this compensation for old players that had spent both a lot of time and a lot of money on the game. So let's go ahead and run the fraglab/faraway response.
A question about the transfer over of like what you keep when we move from Steam to Epic. And please correct me if I misunderstood anything about this. So the skins I currently have on Steam, do I keep those when moving to Epic?
Not all of them, and not all of the progress. But over the next, few weeks, we'll put together some options that, of what we can do from a migration standpoint, and then the community will choose from those options. That's the only thing. We still need to do a pretty big dive into all of the different complexities of moving from, Epic to Steam. But yeah, we promise to give you guys some options. You choose from those options, and that's what we'll do.
So as you heard Paley just explained, Faraway/Fraglab promised to present the community with some options and then let the community choose for themselves what option they would like to select as far as keeping their progression. So on July 16th, a couple weeks after the Q&A, we actually did receive these options from Fraglab/Faraway. Here is the Shatterline migration compensation. Let's just start at the top. For mandatory for previous owners, we can see that would be the Founders Pack. So basically, if you purchase the Founders Pack in Shatterline, you will keep that during full release. There is also a duck trinket for those that participated in the pre-early access NDA events playtests. So those people, I think just a couple of them will receive the duck trinket for their efforts. Then there's also the Fraglab trinket and the Shatterline weapon patch, both available in the store right now. For the people who bought those two items, they would also receive those. And then here's where we get to the options. As promised, they presented us with 3 options for progression migration. So let's just take a look at option 1. Option 1 starts with a free premium battle pass, comes with an exclusive unique weapon patch for everyone. So that's one of those little rail patches on the side of your gun. It comes with a unique nameplate for those who played 100 hours. So basically if you're over 100 hours, you would get a unique nameplate. And it comes with a set of weapon skins for 24 weapons. This was very underwhelming. Premium Battle Pass, if you've played recently, you know that the Battle Pass has already been free like the past 6, 7, 8 months. So why would giving us a free Battle Pass be any different? Unique weapon patch, sure, that's nice. Nameplate, that's also nice. But 2 little cosmetics and then 24 weapon skins. I'm sure if you've played several years at this point, you would have way more than those just 24 weapon skins. So maybe let's just take a look at option 2, the quote-unquote progression pack. So you would get tier 2 weapons unlocked. So if you don't remember, basically you have to unlock each tier of weapons, and this would automatically unlock tier 2. So you would get access to like the Zenith and the MP5, stuff like that. You get 5 hours of expedition resources, 10 levels of battle pass. Keep in mind this is without the premium battle pass unlocked, and you get blueprints for 1 singular weapon perk. I just want to say this option was an absolute joke. This is basically just one session of playtime, and they're basically valued thousands of hours, hundreds of dollars at basically one session where you would play 5 hours of expedition, level up your battle pass, doing 1 week's worth of tasks to get blueprints, and basically unlock one tier of weapons, which, if you don't know, the first tier is incredibly easy to unlock. But, we still have another option. Maybe things can get better. So here we have the Web 2 plus Web 3 option. So at least this one starts off good with a premium battle pass. Keep in mind that those have been free the past 6, 7, 8 months. You get a unique nameplate for everyone who played 100 plus hours. You get a unique weapon patch for everyone as early access reward. And then you have a final option, or final element of this option, where you get a raffle ticket to win one of those flying little drones that everybody loves, heavy metal NFT prizes, 10 of those available as rewards. So this would be for all players with over 100 hours, and then you have a winning raffle ticket that is drawn that migrate to the Epic Games version of the game, and then you basically have a heavy metal robot. So this option is very similar to option 1, except you get the heavy metal raffle ticket winner chance as opposed to a set of 24 weapon skins. So as I'm assuming many of you are reacting to these 3 options right now and thinking, yep, that's pretty pitiful. This was pretty much the internal reaction from us as players as well, because we felt that, all of these hours, all of this money, and it was being valued at basically either one game session or like $5 worth of paid content, if you really look at it. So that obviously was very, very underwhelming for us. But luckily, we had Faraway step in and sort of offer us a more all-inclusive, cosmetic-based compensation package. The reason we're sticking to cosmetics is the server/store/Shatterline economy is going to get a complete overhaul. You're going to have new cosmetics to buy. You're going to have new systems of earning those cosmetics. You're going to basically have new values to all of the currencies, if not new currencies. So it's basically wouldn't make a whole lot of sense for them to just have all of these people with all these cosmetics and all of this progression and then try and introduce a new store. So we had to kind of get a middle ground where players were getting rewarded, but they weren't getting fleeced. We spoke with Paley. Paley basically said, okay, well, I don't really have an idea for what would be fair for the compensation of these old players. So how about you guys propose some options of what you would want? So here's where we got to. Basically, we would start with the premium founders pack. So as you can see in the store, there's 2 versions of the founders pack. The basic founders pack with like 4 skins and a few cosmetics, and then the premium founders pack with skins for all 8 operatives and even more cosmetics. So we figured out we'll start there, give the premium founders pack to everybody in the qualification requirement. So basically that qualification requirement will be determined later, but he said he was aiming for about 70% of the player base. So basically if you've been in the community, you've spent over, a certain amount of time, maybe 50 hours, could be a little bit less, then you would be eligible to qualify for these rewards. Now we also have the duck trinket, so that was basically the same thing from the previous options. This is the duck trinket that was given to people that played in the playtest before early access. Then we have the Frag Lab trinket and the Shatterline weapon patch. Both of those were originally intended to only be given for current owners of these items, but we've since concluded that it's better to give them to everybody. So as long as you meet the qualification requirements above, you will get these. Then we're also going to have a community chosen skin. So out of all the skins of all the operatives, we will have either 1 or 2 be chosen by the community to be included for everybody that meets the requirements. Then we have a special skin for the Crambit. So basically this is the knife in PvP. You can run around and it increases your movement speed. The red skin on that right now, basically that will be set aside for players that have played in early access, and it will never be sold again. So even as new skins are introduced for the Crambit, the old red skin will stay as is, separate for people that play during early access. Next we have a free premium battle pass as part of the compensation package. This will allow you to unlock some special skins as you level up for the first season, and potentially have enough premium currency to buy the second battle pass if we see that trend continue. We also negotiated for a few special nameplates that will be given out based on the number of hours you have currently on the Steam version of Shatterline. So you'll basically get one nameplate if you have over 100 hours. There'll also be a separate nameplate for those who have over 500 hours. And then for the top 350 / around 400 people that have over 1,000 hours, you would also get a special nameplate. These nameplates are not going to come back. They're only for these people who played during early access and dedicated a lot of time. And lastly, we have the ranked badges. So from Season Echo and Season Golf, we had those silver, bronze through diamond ranked badges with the little letters on top. I'll probably show like a picture on screen. Basically, anybody who earned these ranked badges during the original ranked, whether that be Season Echo with 3v3 or Season Golf with Plant the Bomb, will be able to keep these badges because, as I explained to Paley, they took a very long time in queue and a very long time on the actual matches to earn. One final note to mention regarding this compensation package is that you will need to log into Shatterline within the first 14 days, maybe the first 30 days. Currently it's set at 14 to actually claim all of these items. So you can't just let it sit there forever and log in 6 months later and expect all your items to be there. So just keep that in mind. While this compensation package proposed by Faraway isn't everything we have currently in the game, it was never meant to be that. But I do think they did do a good job of compensating us fairly. We're getting a $60 Founders Pack, we're getting a $10 Battle Pass, several skins that will never be reintroduced into the game whatsoever, getting special nameplates, getting ranked badges. Stuff like this can really make your playtime feel worth it. Yes, we are losing all of our progression. We're not getting any sort of weapon levels or blueprints, but I think that's fair considering they're reworking basically every progression system, and every single currency is going to get some kind of update, some kind of refresh upon full release. So with the constraints that we have, the fact we're moving to a whole new platform, and yes, we were promised to keep everything we did own prior to the full release, I do think Faraway has been able to deliver on a fair compensation package for its players. But of course, I'm just one voice. You guys can vote in the comments or express your opinions regarding this compensation package, and if it feels like it's enough up to your standards. But with that said, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you're now a little bit more informed on what you can expect as Shatterline moves into full release later this year.